and that have come as a union to give schemes to help other builders in like hydrogen stations, hydrogen fuel, hydrogen power, electricity schemes that come together. There's an education scheme that's helping out to do that now, but it hadn't for so long. It had a massive effect. Many struggles for many years. Yeah, it's not. It needs to get better. It needs to get better.
Have you done any activism around Julian Assange?
Yeah, I shared. I was one of the people that shared the Panama Papers. I shared it across the internet. I shared it across the world. I shared it, wide and far. This was before it was becoming a big thing, and it went over the world, and all the war crimes, everything bad. I just wanted it out, and the police brutality. I tried to find evidence, and I put it all together, and I said, there you go, but this is what's going on. This should be happening. So I've tried to Activision to put life together, to put everyone together on groups. That's what I try to do. I said we need to all to come together because, and I've been waiting for that right time, right platform, just, for our life to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, cheers, brother.
Cheers, my G.
Nobody's joining my live stream. It's just me and you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'm just smoking up my G. Smoking some beautiful cannabis. I mean, it's legal for just like people with disabilities and stuff like that. Medically it is kind of legal. There's different laws now since the backstop and all that. So
hey, Ellen,
no one knows the law.
I love your name.
It's like no one knows the law.
Fucking Halloween troll bitch. Got a Halloween troll bitch in here named Ellen Degenerate, and I just happen to love their fucking name. I love you, Ellen. Whoever the fuck you are, dude. I love you, bro. Ellen Degenerate. My mom watches that. She infects my mom's brain every day with her stupid show. She is a degenerate. That fucking bitch.
She had a show. She gives money away, but I know. She could do more, couldn't she?
She's a fucking shill for the establishment, bruh.
Yeah.
She's a fucking establishment shill.
She should be for us.
Fucking hate her. My mom believes every word that woman says. I'm like, she treated her fucking whole staff like shit. She abuses them. She's like, no, she doesn't. That's all just bullshit. She defends her like till the death. Yeah, she's a horrible woman. Fuck Ellen Degenerate. I love that you call her. We gotta call her something besides Ellen though. You gotta call her like felon. Yeah, felon. Felon, like a felon. Like she committed a felony. Felon Degenerate. Oh, dude, it's the best. Felon Degenerate. Oh, fuck. I love it. Felon, felon. Felon Degenerate. Oh, that's fucking hilarious, man. Zeno, you're on another channel? Yo, bro, Nate's back on. Yo, dude, is he back on, dude? You got dabs, dude? Yeah, I got some dabs, dude. You got your bong, bro? Yeah, dude, I got my bong, bro. Let's go watch some trending Nate's Garden, bro. What's up, bro? We're gonna check it out, bro. It's gonna be fun, bro. Jacob Granger's in the chat, bro. Jacob Granger, bro. I'm on a space with Jacob Granger. No one else is joining it. I invited both.
Hopefully they do.
I invited people from both the right and the left. You know, no one wants to join a chat like that. They only want echo chambers. I said, let's all just join and get along. You know, let's not join in here and argue and fight and debate shit. Let's just get in here and do some bong rips. Let's all get together and feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Come on, man.
Yeah. Let's get high.
Let's get high, man. You got that heavy purple, man. You get really stoned, man. Like we do, man. Back in the place, man.
I'm a mix of everything, me, bro. I've always been a mix of everything. I don't really like to talk about my ancestors, but they owned the world, and basically they owned banks, they owned real estate, they owned in England, Newcastle in a way, but then what happened? It all got sold off, but the rights to it all didn't get sold off. So the rights to the companies took the names of them, but there were certain buildings and everything that happened in the 1980s that disadvantaged ancestors after, of families, and that's what happened of banks and town halls that were like sovereign. That's where hidden money, trillions and trillions of money is hidden, but it's like, the government don't go into it. They don't want to share it. They don't want to say, here it is. Here's the trillions.
Hey, man, they're not going to fucking admit to that shit. What are you fucking kidding me, bro? Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, the government, they're not even outing themselves and saying that they stole billions of dollars. God damn it. Those fucking government officials, how dare they? How dare they practice capitalism and lie? This is all they do, bro. I mean, this is the thing. This is the thing. Yeah. You and I, we gotta fucking. Yeah. I know, we all know. Everybody knows, man. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody, and even if we did, nobody's gonna do anything about it. So you stress yourself out so much going down these rabbit holes. Hey, I'm not saying that you're not uncovering all the shit. You probably are. Yeah. But at the same time, you're gonna age at twice the rate of an average human being, bro. The shit that you're going into, I'm telling you, it's not worth it. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. Yeah. You got to get the fuck out of there.
That's why I've been sharing on social media for a long time and trying to get the message really out there that,
you need to focus on getting the fuck out of the UK, bro.
I can't do it alone. It's difficult alone. It's lonely.
Fuck out. He says I woke up this morning, I went outside. He says, and I swear, man, it's so fucking hot out here. It doesn't feel like the UK anymore. It feels like I'm in another country. I'm like, dude, that's the first sign right there. Leave. Get the fuck out while you can still walk. While the roads are still open. Jesus Christ, bro. I wish it's like the girls that were in that chat earlier, and they were talking about their medical conditions and saying, a lot of people, aren't able to move off grid. And I said, I understand that. I said, but when society collapses, anyway, I mean, you've got to have some kind of a plan. You should at least be thinking about it. I know there's that helplessness. Everyone feels helpless, and I understand if you're physically incapable of living, on your own or whatever. I understand, man. It's a bitch, but that's the harsh reality. If society collapses, then everything that you've been fighting for and arguing against goes completely out the window. And then you're in that position where you literally are saying, so what? I'm just going to die? Well, hopefully you figured something out. People that are in that kind of a position where they're relying on a facility down the street that they live from to survive, they need to figure out what the fuck they're going to do. I don't know what to tell them. I'd like to help, any way I can. I'd like to help them figure it out. But boy, that is a fucking bitch. Hey, hold on a second here. Lumberjack John's finally getting back with me. I'm so glad. I'm like, I got a tree. It's going to fall on my goddamn neighbors. On my neighbor's pump house. I'm responsible for this fucker. I'm going to have to...
Yeah, I've had to cut a tree because it was diseased a little bit. Outside mine.
Oh, this
I've got a tree,
this
but
tree's completely dead. This tree's completely. The bark is all falling off it. It's rotten. It's gonna fall
yeah.
one day, and when it falls, it's gonna fall right on their pump house. And so if I can get Lumberjack John over here to fucking take that tree down. Let's see here. What is it? Like a 120-foot pine. He's gonna look at this tree. I told him it's like a 120 footer. It is huge. It's one of the biggest trees on my property. I can't believe it fucking died. It's a behemoth. The behemoth. Behemoth.
Well, we need more trees, but we need to also maintain them as well. We need to be able to maintain them. There must be a way to maintain them.
Bro, we're dead, bro. Trees ain't gonna help us, man. You're so funny, Jacob. Don't you watch my? Don't you even watch my show, bro?
Yeah, no, but obviously in England we do try to grow trees. Like there are projects that I've tried to help in the past that obviously they go out and they go out for a day planting trees. Obviously there's certain investments in certain groups that
Bro, you should fucking move from that motherfucker. Move to like San Diego, California. You should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to America. I used to have family in America. I probably do now still somewhere, but it's one of them. Yeah.
Somebody's asking me if I've got solar panels.
I don't speak. I mean, if I said John Gotti was my cousin, yeah, everyone would be like, wow, how does that? But yeah, I don't get no money off.
But John Gotti's your cousin?
Yeah, in some way, yeah.
What?
In some way, yeah. Yeah.
Jacob Granger Gotti.
Yeah. I'm partially.
You're partial gangster in the UK?
Well, yeah, basically, in a way.
I love it. There's a goddamn movie behind that. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
We need a movie announcer deep within the UK.
Like Peaky Blinders, the real Peaky Blinders.
At heart, in this family blood runs Gotti blood. He is the Grange. Oh, he is the Jake on the Grange. Jake on the Grange. That's it. That's the movie.
It was all because of royalty and diamond mines of like Italy, and what happened was they were supposed to give diamond mines to the as royalty, and obviously I probably do still own some diamonds or somewhere, some shit somewhere, but I've never gone out there for since I was only young, so I don't know. There's hidden money in investments in the world that I made when I was young, but I don't know what happened to.
You're just gonna have to migrate. You're gonna have to migrate, son. That's what we're talking about, migration. People migrated on this planet when they ran out of resources. They didn't have electricity. They didn't have cars. They didn't have gasoline. They didn't have bicycles. This was long. They barely had clothing, but they ran out of resources. So they packed up whatever they could and they moved to other places on the planet that had resources. That's what you got to do. You got to migrate. And I know it sounds like, man, no, it's easy for you to say. No, you've got to just look at it that way. And you've got to seriously just fucking migrate People are doing it all. Hey, man, there's thousands of people right now literally walking right now as we speak. People are migrating. Literally, they're coming up to the United States right now. They're trying to get in here. I understand why. You know, their resources are fucking tapped.
You think with all these capitalists, though, that have so much money that they won't care what they were investing in, as long as it made them, you know, a currency, a money, a world currency that helped the world. You know, you'd think that they'd be into something like that because they're trying to be conservative. Because, you know, originally that's what conservatism was, that you was conserving something. It's not turning that way, is it?
No.
Oh, is it? It's not.
No. Now everybody's raping the planet for themselves and their pocketbooks. Yo, A-Dub. Yo, why won't anybody join our space?
That other group, they're still alive. There's another group.
Same group of people in a different chat.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like my title better.
It says the movement. Yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
Why don't you go in there and I'll follow you in there?
Well, I don't know what really to say to them. You know, you can give them my views. You know.
What the fuck do you mean by that, Jacob? What do you fucking mean by that, Jacob? What are you trying to say, Jacob? You can't speak to people?
No, I just try something. I will say something. I'll if they let
He's
me
like,
talk.
I will say something. Hey, fuck you, Nay. I'll say something. Watch me. I'm gonna go in there and say something right now, motherfucker. No, here, check this out.
Yeah.
Listen to the conversation, man. You don't have to say anything, but listen to what's being said.
Yeah.
And when you feel like there's something that you want to add, you know, just try to say it in as little words and as quick as you can, and then mute your microphone. Just don't ramble. Just get your point across as quick as you can, and get in and get out. You know that girl that was talking in there, and she kept saying like? She's like, and then I was like talking about like going like whenever we were like talking like and like I don't know like I swear guys I wish I had a recording of her. It was so fucking bad, and they let her talk like that for 5 minutes, and you know nothing will make me want to get out of one of those spaces faster than someone who's just not saying anything and taking forever to say it. Get to the point quick.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go in there, man. We'll go to another one because nobody's coming in this one.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
Sweet, my dude.
Bye. Psst, unreal. Nobody's even doing it anymore, pal. All right, let's see if it pops right up on top of my screen here. Oh, there they are. 27 people in this one, 19 people in that one. The movement, and this one says Sheeb. They're talking about Shiba Inu in this other one. I got the fucking leftists in one group, and I got the Bitcoin community in the other group, and they're both
You're
like
white,
30 people.
and like you can get away with it.
30 people are in like both.
Say it, I'm just an angry black woman.
And
And
that is it. That is
Right,
exactly.
They gave me speaking rights immediately.
Me, like in my experience, I can't say certain things. I have friends, white friends, who just could not get it. White Latino friends from Miami who just couldn't get it when I couldn't speak up in certain situations. They're like, why did you say nothing? Why did you let the boss talk to you that way? Because if I say something, I might end up in jail. Worse off dead. You know, that is my reality. And it's people, you all just relax. It's not gonna happen to you. You got to be confident, man. But my confidence could get me killed in this society.
Absolutely.
And I think
No.
that the more that white people, white Latinos, like anyone who's white passing, sticks up for that in general, it's a very good thing. You know, at least, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just, you know, this is me, and like how I try to define my allyship is using the privilege that I have to help my friends who are people of color. It's actually made me very uncomfortable. I've had people who are people of color call me a person of color, and I'm like, I know I'm Latino, but like, dude, I'm fucking white. Like
When I get called
like,
spicy white, I fucking cringe so hard.
I cringe so hard. I'm like, dude, like, you know, I don't have the same lived experience. Even with mixed family, I don't have the same lived experience. I've lived next to it, but I don't go through it. You know, I worry about like my nieces and nephews, but I don't go through it myself personally.
And you know, that's the I gotta go real quick. And it was one last word I want to impart on y'all before I go.
Can I say something before you go too? Real quick to you.
Yeah. Before I go back, let me just say this quick thing, and I'll listen. But there was a documentary, The Color of Fear.
Hey,
there was a black man in this room, amongst another black man, 2 white men, 2 Asian American men, and 2 Hispanic American men. And he was talking about his experience as a black man. And as he started talking, they thought he was joking, and they were laughing. But as the conversation went on, he got more serious, until it got to a boiling point where he was trying to let them know, hey, this is my everyday life.
It's a frustrating existence.
You don't understand it. Right. You wouldn't begin to understand it. You're asking because they asked him, why can't we all just be human? Why can't we all just be American?
Bitcoin is down
and
to
he kept saying,
58.2 right now, guys.
To be human, to be American in this current cultural identity is to be white. And that's what they didn't get. They didn't get that. I can't be that.
I'm a loser.
My race doesn't allow me to be that. My culture in this country alone doesn't allow me to be that. They demonize the culture that was created right here in these states. And hip-hop was not really American culture. It was black American culture. Until, you know, Eminem started rapping, then it became American culture. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is what he was trying to say was that for white people race is not a black people's problem.
Agreed.
It's not a black people's problem. We did not start it. We did not begin it. We didn't start it. This is not a matter of blame game. This is just historical facts. This is something that people with privilege need to do the work on. They need to look deep within themselves and see that. Now, and I'm not saying that black people are just free of shadow work. We got our own works. But when we come to this thing of race that was developed by whiteness, they created the term whiteness. These white people did that. So therefore, historically, generationally, it's white people who are going to have to do this work. And people, if I said it, even how that guy said it in the room, he had them quiet. But at the end, they had some more to say. They were like, oh, well, he's just angry. He doesn't get it. You know, it's not my fault. I wasn't here. But it's not about fault. It's not about blame. It's about responsibility for the power that you have. And that's what everybody has to do that. And when it comes to race,
I want to thank you so much for articulating that and taking the time to educate people on that. Because I know that that's a huge emotional burden to have to explain that to people like over and over. And I really appreciate you saying that. I want to go to Romeo, and I want to go to, okay, is it Cuadro? Or because I'm going to say it like it's Spanish, and I know it's not.
Wait, sorry, before you do that, sorry, so you have to get going, right?
Or, yeah, Captain, are you going? Are you staying? What are you doing?
I'm about to go. But you said you want to say something.
I really do want to thank you for bringing that to this space, because I really appreciate it. So, Oracle, feel free to respond real quick, and then I want to go to the people that have their hands up.
Yeah, before you go, don't want to keep you too long, busy man, all that. I want to say that I really appreciate that you took the time out of your day to come back in here and continue this conversation in a much better setting for it than the one that was previously had. I appreciate all the things that you said. I said what I said, and I need to live that. I'm not going to say I meant to say something else, but even then, I acknowledge when I said the combo coming down is I was also in a position where I needed to check myself, but because I knew that, I felt I should have been humble enough to say that we needed to calm down collectively, and that we needed to try and collectively like lower the tension that was in the space at that point. But yeah, I guess I was like frustrated with like initially with how I felt the conversation did get like, a little personal regarding like
bro. We all heard
my relationship to social justice.
Said,
and like although I am like
calm down, I need you to calm down.
From like a
and everybody jumped
from
on
like
him.
from every standpoint that,
like,
that matters.
Whoa. He doesn't need to calm down, and you don't
still
need to
try to do what I can. I have black family.
Yeah, man, I love these people.
And being
that's how I talk to
forgiven
motherfuckers when they tell
and reconcile with like the many mistakes that I definitely have made as like as a white person, as any white person does.
I fucking love that. I wish I had
myself
that on tape.
Like,
this guy right here is
I'm Latino.
He got shut down by
I'm trans.
everybody.
I'm like,
that's why he's bringing it up again.
Covertly disabled, but
his name's Oracle. He feels like he has to kind of defend himself a little bit.
And
I was a douchebag before.
Because no matter how hard we
he's trying to kind of double down a little bit. I should have said this. I meant to say that.
Always will have like these blind spots, and I know that like I definitely will always have.
Bitcoin is almost back up to 58.8 where I purchased it.
Grateful to
almost.
be able to grow in a way that because like honestly by the time that before you even started speaking I was already like mentally like about to like check out,
but I want to look
and then
and see
it just
if
like
there's
it just escalated and got worse, and I'm really sorry that like that it did because what it seems
I'm looking for
I feel like
a
you and I actually
head
do have
and shoulders.
a lot in common, at least as far as like you know attitudes and just like the way we go about our emotions and all that goes. I gave you a follow. I noticed you follow me too. I want to continue these discussions like into the future, and I hope that like you can contribute to like my understanding as well as you have already, and
this
I hope that I can
very
return the favor
wordy.
in any way that I can.
Jacob, this is what I was talking about.
That's how you fucking do it. Good job, guys. I'm proud of you.
Squash that shit.
All love. It's all love.
Squash that shit, man. Yeah.
Please take
Woo,
that.
solidarity.
Also, like, Miami's is a rough one, dude. Gusano white Cubans are
that's a whole boy. That's a can of worms that we can go into another day.
We'll have a space for like Miami people that left, people who live in Miami. We'll do a whole thing. I'll host a whole white Latinos taking accountability space, and it'll be like #Miami.
#reparations.
Yeah, no, you know that shit is crazy when you getting called the N-word in Spanish and English. This shit is crazy. Fuck. But all right.
Years. I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. Romeo, please talk. Dime.
Okay, so like, I'm about to get off lunch in like 5 minutes. I actually joined earlier, but I was talking to my fiance for a little bit. I'm gonna try to make this super quick. I think it was interesting what Captain was saying earlier. And I think this is a big issue. The reason why I'm so worked up about it is because I just experienced this earlier. There's a couple people, I don't want to name names. There's a couple quote unquote leftists online that are like, obviously white people who are like, one of them's a veteran. Another one is from the South. She's like from Louisiana, vehemently anti-immigrants. They're always talking about like, they're always making fun of Landbacker, talking shit about it, but then saying like, what about Israel, #Landbacker. So I don't know how to explain it. She even went as far as to say earlier that might is right and we can cry all we want, but yeah, and I'm just like, this is a racist. But I guess the reason why I'm saying all this is because people don't really realize like that we literally we really do live in opposite realities. Whereas in like us, if you're black, if you're you're Middle Eastern, if you're Asian, yada yada, Latin American, we have that reality of we were colonized by Europeans, everybody across the planet. We were enslaved, we had our shit stolen, all this stuff, right? But their entire reality is based around justifying and denying this shit, yada yada. So it's like they even have little things like they'll like say call you racist names playing Call of Duty and it's just supposed to be cool, but like this whole entire system, like even the fact that like they live in the suburb, like I remember there was another white dude who made a song about how like I'm not from the hood, this and that, like I'm not the typical rapper, right? But like the reason why you live in the burbs is because my ancestors worked. You stole their labor. You guys got reparations and support from the system to go get these home loans to live in the burbs, and we didn't. We got mass incarceration and lynchings for no reason and yada yada. And this isn't even just black Americans, bro. This is Latin America. Like I said, this is in Vietnam. That was a colonial war. They don't tell us that. That was a fucking colonial war by the French. You feel me? And like just all these other things where it's like they're not like they're propagandized to not even like see this shit for what it really is. America does not exist. This land is not called America. There's no such thing as a fucking American. You niggas are Germans. You're you're English, you're Irish, you are not American. There's no such thing as a fucking American. It's a psyop to not make us not acknowledge like the atrocities that have been committed and what we need to do to reconcile it. I'm just kind of ranting, my fault.
Ranting but spitting facts, so like who cares?
No worries. Rant all you want, Romeo.
Like,
and like that, I guess what I'm saying is like, so what he said earlier about like we're never gonna be American, dog, because I have people like this, they'll say things like that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's cool, like they'll say racist things, or you know, like they'll be against immigrants or all this other shit, and that's quote unquote what's supposed to be American. But what is American? What does we the people mean? It didn't mean the slaves. It didn't mean the Native Americans that they stole their land. It meant white land owning Protestant males, my nigga. That's what we the people meant, bro. So like if we're not that, we're never gonna be accepted, and that's what we've been saying for hundreds of years. Like how the fuck are you gonna sit up here and look at my ancestors that were hung for no fucking reason? Millions of my ancestors sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean to build primitive capital for Europeans to live in the burbs and quote unquote call themselves American. This shit does not exist, and it comes from atrocities.
And it's a very
when's the
very
podcast, bro?
simply boiled down, like class reductionist point of view. To just say that, oh, well, we're all American. It's a very
and her name is class reduction.
And
I know. I had a feeling.
No, because like I will frequently say in spaces that if we start talking about class reductionism, like I'm fucking out. Because
For real, bro. And they don't
acknowledge the struggle of our black comrades, of LGBTQ comrades, of women.
This guy's name is Romeo Levi.
Groups that have been marginalized, the BIPOC communities, I think, more so than anyone, and then especially BIPOC women, and then throw on top of that a black trans woman. Like, if you're going to talk over them in my space, like, that's why I'm going to say I'm going to let Romeo talk, I'm going to let this person talk, because, you know, it is very important to acknowledge the struggle of other people. And if you can't acknowledge that people have a different struggle than you, then you are not my fucking comrade.
Hey, Tyler.
So that is why I don't use the word American. I use the word comrade. And when I use the word comrade, it means someone who can acknowledge that, like, okay, this person is black. They have a completely different struggle
I'm
than
on
me.
Twitter, man. Listening to a space on Twitter.
And if you can't acknowledge that, then can you really have their back? Can you really trust someone to have your fucking back? Like, for me, like, I'm Latino. I'm queer. I'm non-binary and trans. And if someone is transphobic, I don't know if I can trust them to have my fucking back. And if I have if part of my family's black and a lot of my friends are black and someone is racist, I'm not gonna trust them to have my back or my comrades' backs. Because if they can't acknowledge the struggle that my black friends have been through or my black family's been through, I'm not gonna trust them.
Exactly. And
I want to say something. I want to say something.
I go back to work.
Go for it.
What I wanted to say is that class reductionism, when they say this shit, they don't really acknowledge the fact that one, we, as I said, we literally were slaves. We didn't get reparations, yada yada. These boats, the motherfucker in Ellis Island, a lot of them got free boat rides here to jobs and yada yada. You feel me? So it's like, and then not only that, they got loans to get into houses in the burbs to then quote unquote erase their Italian or whatever ancestry to call themselves American and then be racist and say this. You know what I'm trying to say? And so and then not only that, so like, but then besides, so it's like we are not class because we come from literally different. But the last thing I want to say is that when you talk about class reductionism, you're not acknowledging the fact that the vast majority of leftist revolutions throughout the world were literally by colored people in the context of being oppressed based on color. Literally, most of them were.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in Eastern Europe, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like you really can't, like, this shit is just,
you know what? I'm gonna pick my hand down.
Brainwashed by this European, whatever the fuck it is, way of thinking that they're never gonna be able to see outside of that shit and realize
I put my hand
this
down.
shit is all like meant to divide us. You feel me? And like they think we're the bad guys, but it's truly like, come on, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep ranting. I go back to work. My fault. Peace.
You're all good, bro. Honestly.
Quiet.
Hey y'all. Man. Alright, well, you know, I'm glad to hear, that this discussion is happening in this space. I know it doesn't happen often, and it's a discussion that I myself have been kind of
put my hand back down.
Trying to figure a way around for years now. Really the question that I've been trying to answer is how do you end racism? And so obviously I've been studying up on race for a long time, And in the past few weeks, actually, I've developed. Anyway, so my point is, I'm going to test something out here and see if it lands. How it resonates, because I've talked about race a few times in these spaces and some other spaces, and there's always some hang-ups, and I think it's hard for people to understand the angle that I'm coming from. But I've developed a new angle, and I'm hoping it will be particularly effective in this space, because y'all get it, right? And when we're introducing ideas, the struggle is always kind of like finding a relatable angle to introduce this idea. So, to what Romeo said, right, about the PSYOP, the PSYOP is race itself, right? And here's what I mean by that. In this context, I'm going to compare race and racism and the struggle to, be anti-racist to class struggle, right? And essentially my thesis is that the way we handle race now, race issues, race topics, right, is very similar to the way people handled class issues before Marxist analysis was on the table.
Because they're the same thing.
And I guess to preface a little further, based on not just this conversation, but also my experience as an African person in this society, or really dark-skinned person, melanated person in this society, I am convinced that, and some of y'all have heard me say this before, right? If the revolution was to happen tomorrow, and we were to effectively socialize or communize, right, effectively restructure the economic landscape of this country and the world, racism would still have plenty of room to grow and flourish. It would certainly look different, with the economic component reshuffled, but it would still exist, and it will still cause the same, or at least very similar kinds of stress that it does now, right? So just to that point about why class reductionism is no good, right? Because, the race issue is still very prescient. So my point here, what I want to get across here is that with that similarity to the Marxist analysis, is this idea that before Marx came along, when people talked about class issues, and not to say that Marx invented socialism
what is this guy trying
or
to
communism,
say? My
right?
God, just say it, man.
But before he came along and popularized his message, right? Before he popularized his own critique of the existing system, a lot of the solutions that people presented were oriented around, obviously, how to make the capitalist system more humane, right? And I feel like it should be pretty clear to see how the parallel to the race system, which, as we all know, is a parallel system to capitalism, operates under a similar MO, right? And it's weird, right? I'm still having a hard time talking about it, but I see elements of it even in this conversation with how white identified folks in this conversation approached what Sato was saying just a few minutes ago. It comes across, the terms we use, microaggressions, whatever other terms, I don't know. I don't really keep up with that stuff. Privilege, we're in privilege.
You guys, I'll be in this space on Twitter.
You know how to find this category. And I really want us to think about, right? Because